What's up, everybody? This is Mike Daniels here from Locker Room to Boardroom, and I'm pumped. I'm excited. Here's our Wednesday installment of our podcast, and we're here with a very special guest. Everybody knows that I'm a Virginia Tech proud alumni, and we have one of the greatest Virginia Tech Hokie football players to come out of there. So very excited about this. Want to do a little intro, and take my guest back a little bit. But we're here today with Mike Imoh. I want to give you a little bit about his background. He's from Fairfax, Virginia. He's going to tell you some information on this. Went to Robinson High School. Let me take you through some of his accolades. Virginia Group AAA Player of the Year, led their team to a state championship, 5,280 career rushing yards and 68 touchdowns. That's a lot of dancing. A lot of
72.
celebrating.
72.
72. Okay, my bad. My
72.
bad. 72. Okay. Went to Virginia
Counting,
Tech. Who's counting? The defense is counting. They were
yeah.
counting. I can guarantee that. Went to Virginia Tech, dynamic running back, receiver, return specialist, one of the most explosive all-purpose players to come out of Virginia Tech. Averaged 30.5 yards per kick return, which was third nationally. I didn't know that until I did a little bit more research. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Third nationally. Had a 91-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, 720 yards in 2004. Special year for us, almost 5 yards uh, per touch. 1,200 yards career rushing yards. Key contributor on the ACC championship team, which was my senior year, so we had a special place for that. Went on to play professional ball up in Canada. Uh, Transitioned out of that into the working world. He's a W-2. Currently a financial advisor with Edward Jones. I've been tracking him through his whole career and has had a ton of success in helping people. And he's had a ton of accolades. But what's most important is he's a great friend of mine. And so with that being said, welcome, Mike Imoh. Thank you for jumping on the podcast with Locker Room to Boardroom.
I
Welcome.
appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Happy to be here. So
Absolutely, man. We're pumped to have you. So, for y'all who've seen our podcast before, here's what we do: we take you back through a journey of your life, right? And I say to a lot of people off camera, it's kind of therapeutic because you're taught in your life to be humble, and which we all are. And were. But sometimes you need to take a step back, reflect on the work you've put in, your accomplishments you've been able to accomplish, and be thankful for them and recognize them. So that's what we want to do today. But we're going to go all the way back. Take us through kind of how you grew up. Did you grow up? I know these answers, but let the world know. Did you grow up playing multiple sports? Did you have siblings that you played sports with? Take us back through what you did and how your sports career journey started.
yeah, man. So I mean, I'm youngest of three. Um, Parents moved here from Nigeria, or they came here from Nigeria to come to college. Um, Ended up having my two older brothers, and then myself last. Um, so oldest brother was a soccer star and standout at West. He ended up going to West Point. Had offers to every school in the country. I remember seeing the letters come in, UVA, Duke, West Point, like literally every single school that was good in soccer and had a good academic program as well. I had offered him. He ended up going to West Point. Um, then I had a middle brother as well that played football, ended up going to Virginia Tech. And then, myself being the last one with a little gap in between us. I think we got an 8-year gap between me and my middle brother. So I always say like I was like a little brother with a chip on his shoulder because I really just wanted to be better than them at everything, to be honest with you. So
Understand that?
yeah, man. So, like I said, immigrant household. They didn't understand what was going on. They just wanted us to be respectful. And I was like, I just want to score touchdowns. And you know, like I said, kind of be the man in the house.
Heck yeah. And so did you grow up? What was your first sport that you played?
I played soccer.
Organized.
I played soccer, basketball, and football all at the same time.
Okay.
Um, and when I say all at the same time, I mean all at the same time. Like we'd be in season, I'm playing all three sports at once. Right? I'll go to
Mhm.
football practice, basketball, or maybe it was football and soccer that was the same seasons. Um, So yeah, we football and soccer. So I go to football practice, and then on Sundays I would go to soccer games, and get busy in soccer games. And then on Saturdays I was getting busy in football games. And if it was a soccer tournament, I play in our football game, and Little League was kind of easy. I'm going to be honest with you. So, you go back and end up 3, 4 touchdowns and hop right in the car and shoot over to a soccer tournament and get busy in a soccer tournament. It was awesome. It was just a lot of fun for real. I loved it.
Heck yeah. And so, did your parents like force you to play multiple sports? You chose to play multiple sports. Looking back now, you have kids that play multiple sports. Was that important to you? And if it was, why? Why was
I
that
played
important to do?
soccer because my brother played soccer,
Okay.
right? Like when I grew up, so I grew up watching it again, and like my temperament was just very, very competitive, right?
Hmm.
Even when I didn't know that I was competitive, right? So again, it was like, all right, I got to be better than him, right? So I always was playing soccer, and then basketball was just something that was kind of fun, and picked up, and then I happened to be decent at it as well. And then football kind of had no choice because like I was really good in football. So ironically enough, man, like I actually tried to quit playing football. I think going into like seventh grade, maybe sixth grade. Sixth grade, I tried to quit, and I was like, I remember we had to sign up, and we had a coach, Coach Atkinson, who he was a hard coach, and like if anybody from Virginia Tech watches, then they know me. I'm not a physical person. Like I'm not a physical runner. Like I'm not interested in like fighting for an extra yard. I will go out of bounds in a heartbeat, right? Like if we get the first down and like we're not trying to run the clock out, like I'll get out of bounds and I'll live to fight another day, right? So it was like
Yes.
speed killed, and they say strength punishes, but I wasn't punishing anybody. So, um, but our coach, he used to make us hit in practice, right? And like everybody had to hit in practice, and I'm like, why do I got to hit? I'm like a speed demon, and I'm trying to not get hit. So I remember being like, I think it was sixth grade, and sixth or seventh, and I was like, I'm gonna take this year off. I don't really want to play,
Yeah.
right? I don't want to play football. And it was because like the coach was hard on us, and it was physical, and I already knew what we were getting ourselves involved in. And we had lost the year before in like the championship game of like the whole area, and they beat me up during that game. And I was like, man, I'm good for the year. Like I just want to play basketball. That's what my friends are doing. Like my friends are getting pulled out of football, so I'm like, why do I need to do this? And I remember my parents, they were like, all right, so, or my mom, she was like, we're going to take you to go sign up. And if you still don't want to play, then you don't need to play, but we're going to go sign up. All right. And then we'll talk about it. So I was like, well, cool, but I'm not playing. Right. I'm going to go sign up. We can go sign up, but I'm not playing.
Right. Right.
So we go sign up. She tells the coach right there, she's like, we're signing up, but he says he doesn't want to play. Um, And they're like, "Oh, really?" They're like, she's like, "Yeah, he says he doesn't want to play, um, but let's go ahead and make sure he gets all of his equipment and he signs up, and then I'll bring it back if you know when we need to." And they were like, "Okay, right." And I think that I remember like pulling my mom to the side and being like, "What's going on?" But I wasn't paying no attention at all. So I kid you not, we got back home and nobody in the house talked to me for about 2 weeks.
Brothers, two brothers.
Two brothers didn't speak to me at all. Right now, mom worked a lot. Right, dad worked a lot, so it was all very business oriented with them at that point in time. Even more so than not, it was like, all right, go to do your schoolwork. I got to feed you. I'll feed you, and then like basically like get out of my face for the most part.
Right.
Right,
Right.
brothers. Then I remember them sitting there at
That's
at
tough.
the table. They're playing spades. And I'm trying to sit at the table with them, and they're like, "You can't sit here." And I'm like, "What you mean? Why? Why can't I sit here?" And they're like, "You can't sit here because you don't want to play. You don't want to play. So like, this is for people that do things." And I'm like,
That's tough money.
you know what I'm saying? So
That's tough.
No, man, that's no lie. So they didn't talk to me. So finally, I remember like sitting at the table, right? And it was like dinner and again, and they just everything's that's awkward, right? But they're all doing their thing. Everybody's talking. They're just I ask a question, they're like, eh. I'm like, damn, you know. So I remember just being like, I'm like, all right, fine, I'll play, I'll play, I'll play. They're like, no, you want to quit? You want to quit? You know, if that's what you want to do, then you know, just like things are gonna be different. I'm like, it's fine, I'll play. Um, so I went on that year. We won the DC, Maryland, Virginia championship. I was like the DC, Maryland, Virginia player of the year. Um,
Jeez.
like I went into the Hall of Fame that year for Fairfax County, where we live as well. And from that point on, you know, it was all right. This is actually my thing, right? Like clearly, this is
Yeah.
my thing that I'm different at. So, but it's funny, man. I'm really grateful to my for what they did because you have crossroads in your life where you have forks in the road all the time, right? Where you go
Yeah.
left and you go right. And had I not done that, I'm not sure what things would have turned out like for myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because as y'all, everyone here knows, I mean, most people know I'm 5'7", right? 5'7", 5'8". Basketball was definitely not in the cards. You know what I mean? I didn't know that when I was
Seventh
young,
grade.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Going to the NBA for sure.
Yeah, when I was
For
3 feet
sure.
tall, I didn't know any better. I was like, I might go to the NBA. What do I need this? I'm not trying to be getting hit and doing all this physical nonsense.
Yeah.
So, but no, seriously, like something I'm very, very, very grateful for because things could have been completely different. So it's funny, and I use that now, like with my kids. Like I talk about that, and it's like a constant like struggle inside of myself to make them still have to like work and do things that they don't want to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like I try and make them work hard now and practice and do things on their own, even though they don't want to, and like in hope that at some point in time it'll click and it'll become natural for them. And then they'll be like, yeah, I get working hard is just like what you do, and I kind of enjoy it, right?
No
So
doubt. No
one of them
doubt.
got it, the other one doesn't quite yet. So
Just planting seeds, man. There'll be a harvest.
absolutely.
There'll be a harvest. So if your family didn't react like that, you think things would have been different? You think you would have got back to football?
I mean, I don't know because I think what once people, let me tell you, the people that I knew that like took the year off, they never
Hmm.
came back,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? They never went back to play again, right? And again,
Right.
I said I'm 5'7". I was not going to get a basketball scholarship, right?
Sure.
Um, I doubt I was going to get a soccer scholarship. I was good in soccer, but like there was levels to soccer skills as well. Like football was my calling, and like I almost threw that down the drain.
That's wild. That's wild. You almost didn't play football past seventh grade.
Seventh grade, exactly. All because
And
practice was too hard.
hard. Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah,
I mean, your
exactly.
whole life would have been different.
Whole life would have been different. But instead, you kind of like I remember using like the things we did in practice as like a springboard. Like, yo, if I did that, I could do whatever, right? Like this game is not gonna be hard because what we had to do in practice was way harder, right? I was like, games were like therapeutic.
Oh
Practice
yeah.
absolute torture. So I got to Saturday and I was like, I'm about to dance today. Like
Yeah.
today, like I'm tired of
Yeah.
hitting. Like nobody's gonna touch me today. I'm gonna come out of here. My jersey better be spotless.
No doubt.
So
No doubt.
yeah,
No doubt. That's what I tell the kids. You train hard in practice so games are easy.
for
You
sure.
know, you train hard, hard, your hardest, your hardest. All right. So you almost quit, got back into football, still playing multiple sports, three sports. Looking back, are you happy? What did you get out of personally out of playing multiple sports? Like, what did that do for you? Maybe not at the time, but you looking back, how do you think that impacted you, if it did at all?
And it kept me busy,
Yeah.
you know. Um, yeah, I mean, it kept me busy. Like, basketball was a completely different condition. I've always loved basketball. Like, I coached my son's basketball team. Like I always say, if I was 6'6", I'm like, Shh, it would have been, it would have been, it would have
Oh
been,
yeah.
it would have been on, right? So,
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. So that's a tough question.
And so were you obviously in football, you're one of the top players. Basketball, I'm assuming you're one of the top players. Were you same in soccer? Was there any of them that you were
Yeah,
not one of the top players?
I was one of the top, pretty good in soccer. I mean, but soccer again, there's levels to it because you have like different divisions, right?
Right,
Our
right.
team was not great, right?
Yeah.
But um, you know, let me not say we were Division One, right? Like you have back then you had D1, D2, D3. I don't know how far it goes. We were a D1 team. We didn't win it. We were probably like middle of the pack, right?
Okay.
But like athletically, it was easy work. So I could compete with any of them. And I was
You
a
can
striker.
compete.
So I would just sit like I told you before, I sit on the sweeper and like I was like, I'm gonna make your life miserable today. And nobody was gonna beat me to the ball and I was strong. So soccer, I was pretty good at soccer for sure. I'm
Right
not
on.
good at football though. Football was like it was like I felt like I do the matrix.
Yeah, I hear that, man. I coach, we talk all the time, but I coach a ladies basketball team and they play multiple sports and I encourage them to play multiple sports as long as you can because for a lot of people, you sound like you are excellent at all the sports that you played. But a lot of kids, their self-image and their competency in each sport is a little different. Like one sport, it might be super high because they're naturally gifted. They've been
Yeah,
playing long. And then the other one, they got to work on it.
yeah,
And I feel like that's good to put kids and people in a different environment. So you got to continue to work on yourself and you
yeah.
don't get too comfortable. And so that's excellent that you're good at all three, man. So take me through. Okay, so you went to a great high school. I want you to talk a little bit about your coach. You got a Hall of Fame Virginia high school coach, um, and you played early. So take me through your experience jumping into high school and walk me through that, man. What did that look like?
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of a buzz coming in because again, my older brother came through and played, and by that time, um, from playing like youth football in the area, there was a buzz like, hey, like he's about to come to high school, so let's see what he's got, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I remember the 3-3. We had a test to start the season. It was just 3 300s test. We had to run 3 300s, and
Okay,
we had a
okay.
7 break through like each one. Um,
I mean, how long was your break?
I was like 60 seconds in between each.
Okay,
Right. Um,
okay.
and I remember being like, they about to find out right now. Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you felt good. You
Oh,
felt good.
I felt great. I felt great.
Okay.
Right. So I felt great for the first two. And then realized what we were doing, and that monkey jumped on my back, right? And I damn near got lapped on that last one. But no, there was a little buzz coming in. So I ended up playing as a true freshman. I had Coach Bendor, like you said, he's a Hall of Fame coach. Similar coach to like what I was dealing with in Little League, right? Where he was hard, physical, big into the details, right? So I mean, I'm like extremely lucky and blessed to be able to have that because everyone doesn't get that from like a young age, right?
No.
So that's where he was, and um, I was playing as a true freshman. Um, I remember like I was the backup running back as a true freshman, and then I think maybe like 4 or 5 games, maybe 3 or 4 games into the season, um, one player had gotten hurt, and another one was a knucklehead and kept messing up. And I think coach was just waiting. And I never forget, he's like, it was in practice, we were about to play Annandale. He's like, Imoh. He's like, you're up. You're starting. That's it. Tired of it. Tired of this. I can't handle it anymore. And that other player, he was like, you're now sitting on the bench to the freshman, right? You'll back up the freshman. And he's like, you ready? And I remember like the look on my face. I was like, uh-huh, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. So yeah, man. And then I even remember like that game. And first game was against TC Williams, and I think I had about like 100 yards rushing or so, right? In like the first game playing. And again, I kind of thought it was going to be easy again. I was like, here we go. And then we played Annandale actually the next game. And they were like the strong team. They were known as being like in the weight room and physical.
Yep.
And And then I remember there was like a void, and we all was playing okay, but I was 4th and 1, and I don't know why coach called my number. Again, I'm not a physical running back, but it's 4th and 1, and boy, that middle backer, I don't remember his name, but he hit me so hard, right? So we probably lost 2 yards on the play, lost the possession, lost the game, right?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, we
Oh
lost.
no.
And I'm sitting here in my head, I'm like, dang, man, I'm like, I let everyone down, like, and I remember walking back to the bus, and Coach Wendell was like, he's like, I'm happy that happened to you. I'm like, why? You know what I mean? In my head, I'm like, I'm sick, I'm dejected because I've never really faced defeat, really at any point in time before like 7th grade or maybe 6th grade. So like, there's a run of just like everything was kind of easy, and he was like, yeah, you
Mhm.
see, like there's levels to this. Like you're gonna have to work. Like you need to get strong. You need to grind. And from that point on, like I remember going hard in the gym, going hard working
Mhm.
out, hard in the off season. Um, and again, kind of the same thing. It springboarded to like the rest of the career, which was, you know, went great, successful.
Absolutely. And just so everybody knows, there's levels in high school ball and how big your school is and the comp that you're competing with. And Robinson, at least at the time, I don't know how many students y'all had. We had 1,600
We
at
were the
Fairfax.
biggest state. So
Y'all are
we
the
played the
biggest.
biggest
Yeah.
division state.
Yeah.
We were
Y'all
the
the biggest.
schools in the state because we had middle school as well. So it was 7th through 12, and they counted the 7th and 8th graders. So we played against the biggest schools as well in Division 6 at the time. Um, so, but that was a hell of an experience. Like that,
Oh,
that was awesome. Like, and that would like literally that springboarded like everything. Like I'll never forget getting stuck on 4th and 1. I was like, I don't ever want to feel this feeling again. So I'm gonna get stronger, bigger, faster than everybody else.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay. So you walked in freshman year, end up starting as a freshman for football. What about the other sports?
Ended up starting in basketball too.
Started as a freshman in basketball. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and again, we weren't that good. We were okay, right? I don't think I should have been starting in basketball,
Mm,
but I was. So that was cool. That was a cool experience too. But that was much different because
mm,
I again we talk about levels. Like you were 5'6", right?
hmm
I'm
hmm
playing against kids much bigger, much more mature and understand basketball. And at the time, basketball, I was just way more athletic than everyone else, right?
Sure.
I used my
Yeah.
athleticism
Yeah.
more than like my head, and I didn't have like a crazy jumper. It was just like I'm gonna have out athleticism, and you can't stay in front of me, basically.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that did not translate, and that's when I realized. You realize you're like, yo, you're not that good, dude.
Basketball's
You're not
humbling.
that good, and you shouldn't be out here. You should be playing JV.
Basketball's humbling, man.
Yeah, for sure, for
It's
sure.
a humbling
So
sport.
now, and then I stopped playing soccer in freshman year. But, there wasn't very many scholarships that were handed out uh, for soccer. So after I had that initial season, I think coach was kind of just like, if I'm you, and you need to focus your energy on. You need to have a season that is dedicated towards the working out, towards the weight.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you play soccer in the spring, you're not going to have that. So the spring was the time to get strong.
Yeah. Was that hard putting that sport down for you? Was it an easy decision? Did somebody help you make that decision or
I mean, it was a hard decision at the time. I take that back. It wasn't a hard decision at the time, right?
okay.
Because again, like we were different in football, right? So,
hmm
and I loved basketball. I liked soccer,
hmm
but you know, I would say I was at the middle of the pack kind of thing. I was good, but I wasn't like off the charts. So
Right.
it's kind of like, eh. Now, with that being said, that's probably also one of my greatest regrets. We talk about like those forks in the road. Now, I don't know how things would have played out though, because I could have played, got hurt, and
Right.
went on to do the things I would have did afterwards, right? But I will tell you, like my having parents of Nigerian descent, like they didn't understand what was going on in football,
Mm.
right? So like, like parents are cheering, people are going crazy, they're high fiving your son, and they're just like, my mom's like, I heard you talking, saw you talking to the ref. Why are you talking to the referee? And I'm like, Mom, did you not see what happened in the game? Like, you didn't even care about, like, they had 300 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns. And she's like, yeah, but you look like you were being disrespectful. Right. And I'm like, man, uh, like, give me a break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I don't know. It was wild.
Dude, it's okay. So you put soccer down, you're rolling in basketball, football, playing as a freshman. When did you identify that you wanted to play in college? Was there let me clarify here. Was there things that were happening? Was there something you did in a game where you're like, hey, I think I can do that? Was it a mentor, somebody speaking into your life? What when did you what clicked and why? What happened?
At the time, I was very, very, very competitive. Like when it comes to sports, like I was very competitive, right? Like I'm
Mhm.
competing with people that don't know that I'm competing against them. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, my brother had a full scholarship, right, to every school. So
Oldest brother, James.
yes, right.
Yeah.
And it was the soccer and a sport that you don't really see a lot of kids getting scholarships to like
Mhm.
that. So that was at a very early age. I was like, I need to do that. I need to get a scholarship. Like I want to be that guy, basically.
Yeah.
So that was ingrained in me from always, right?
Okay. So by the time you got to high school, you already thought in your mind, I want to play college ball or just get a scholarship in whatever. Was it like it's going to be football? Did you know
Uh,
or believe or
I thought, yeah, yeah. I mean, I probably thought I was like a superhero in my head, right?
yeah,
Like I can say that now, right? Like when you're playing, you're like I was, you know, you're naturally very, very humble when you talk about like the team and stuff. But in the back of my head, I was like, I might be like one of the best running backs ever. Like in my head, seriously, I'm going to the league. I'm gonna make $1 trillion. Like it is, and I'm about to bust my butt. I'm gonna run hills. I'm gonna do whatever I got, and it's gonna work out. So from a very early point, I was like, so yeah, it wasn't even just college to be honest with you. It was more so like we're gonna get to like to be like we're gonna get to the league.
yeah, like sixth grade, fifth grade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After
Okay.
that season, when I quit, tried to quit,
Yeah.
and we went
Became
crazy.
yes.
That point on, it was like it's on.
Wow. So yeah, I'm wondering if that year didn't, if your parents and family didn't react like that. We're not encouraging other families to do that or athletes that are watching it with your kids. But that was definitely a fork in the road. It sounds like if that didn't happen, I mean, things could just be very different, man. That's wild.
Think like at age, whatever age I was, like I was not mature enough. And this is what
Yeah.
I tell myself and my kids. Like I'm not mature enough to make a good decision.
Right.
I haven't lived
Right.
enough life. Like my kids now have a 9-year-old and 11-year-old. They think they know everything, and I look at them and I'm like, that was me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Um, but I can't let them run, and do whatever they want to because I know in my head they can't make good decisions. They can make good decisions, but
sure.
can't expect them to keep making mature decisions when they haven't lived life to be able to like
Yeah.
have things that say you need to do this. So
No
uh,
doubt.
yeah,
No doubt. So all right. So you're playing freshman varsity. You're as a freshman you're playing varsity basketball, football. When did the letters start coming in? Because I remember when I started getting letters, what that did for me starting to see the different logos pop up on mail. Do you remember were they going to Bendorf and then he was handing them to you? Or were they coming straight to your
yeah. I got
house?
a letter from Michigan sophomore year, and I
Say that
got
again. You got an
sophomore
offer
sophomore. I got a letter.
letter. Okay.
I got a letter. I got a letter
Yeah.
sophomore year from Michigan, and they just send out those letters like, "Hey, we see you,"
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm like, you got Fab Five and all them guys, and I was like, man, what? I'm like, let's go. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm like, let's
Oh yeah.
right. So I didn't get my first offer. My first offer actually was from Virginia Tech. I think you were already there. I think you had just went. You were a
Mm,
big name in the area as well, right?
hmm
So
hmm
uh, like huge name in the area.
That
So
was the first. That was the first offer.
that was my first offer was Virginia Tech, right?
Mm.
First offer. So uh, they started coming in after that, obviously. But that was the first offer.
Sophomore year,
sophomore, junior year, junior year.
junior. Okay.
First letter was from Michigan
Yeah.
that showed up at the house. I vividly remember that, right? But those letters just like, hey, you know, congratulations, we see you, keep doing what you're doing.
Those letters mean a lot, man.
They do. They stopped sending them though. Michigan didn't keep calling.
But that I mean I remember getting those in each. I felt like at least for a while, each, especially when they first started coming, each one gave me like a little bit more confidence. Like, man, they see me, they feel me, and some of them are very generic, right?
Right, right.
But it doesn't matter. You see the emblem on the outside, you're like, ooh,
Yeah, they were still handwritten on the outside though. They
yeah,
were always handwritten on the outside, right?
yeah,
It was generic on the inside, but it was handwritten on the outside.
yeah, man.
So
Okay, so all right, you're balling in high school. First offers from Virginia Tech. Who else came into play? What ended up being your top? What did you enjoy about the recruiting process, and who ended up being your top couple schools that you were coming down to? What did you enjoy, and what didn't you enjoy about it, if anything?
geez, man. I mean, um, I had offers from most of the schools except for like UVA. Right?
You never got one from UVA?
I got one from UVA.
Wow,
Yeah, I never, and I
wow.
would say like ACC and Big East schools,
Big
right?
East, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep,
You know, like once one gives, then the other ones, the rest of them are coming, right?
for
So,
sure.
and Duke never gave me one either, right? Because I swear to you, if Duke would have offered me, I would have went to Duke. At that,
Really,
oh yeah, for sure. At that time, I remember being like, if I go to Duke, like that could probably set you up for life, like even like afterwards,
for
after
sure.
done with. But it never came. But like I said, most of the schools, and I mean, it boiled down to like, man, Tech was down the road and 4 hours away, but it was in state. You were there. We had, other people that like from the area were there. Michael Vick
Mhm.
just got done doing what he was doing. Our recruiting class was like kind of crazy. Who was getting recruited in that class? Like Ahmad Brooks, Jonathan Lewis. Like
Yep,
it was wild, right? So, and we thought everybody was going to be going to Tech. So, in
yeah.
my eyes, that was my first offer too, and like there was kind of like a chip on my shoulder. There was another dude, Michael Johnson, who played at UVA
Yes. Yeah.
down
Yep.
at Virginia Beach area, speed demon, right? And
Yeah.
they chose him over myself, and um, I guess that's why they never gave me an offer, and we never offered Mike Johnson, which is kind of crazy, right? And we both had
Interesting, huh?
offers everywhere, but we didn't have. I didn't have one from UVA, and he didn't have one from Virginia
Yeah.
Tech.
That's
And
weird.
yeah, so but no, I mean that was they were the first one, and for that reason, I think. And my brother had already went there as well. So like in the back of my head, I'm just like, what are we talking about here? This is gonna
Right.
happen.
So who were your final two schools? Or was there really a second contender, or was it like you were kind of
My mom absolutely loved Wake Forest. I remember
okay?
he came in and he was like praying and like my mom, you start praying in front of my mom. She's like, "This is it. We found the school for you, honey."
Right,
You
right,
know what I'm saying?
right.
And I'm like, "Mom, you just like, what if the other school's praying too?" You
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
they're like, can we pray that, we'll make good decisions and blah, blah, blah. And my mom just like was like, this is where you're going. You're going to Wake Forest. And I'm like, I'm not going to North Carolina.
yeah.
Like
Nothing,
nobody know me
nothing.
in North Carolina. I'm gonna go get lost in North Carolina. I'm not going
Yep.
to stay in the state. So she was not happy about that decision.
That's so funny.
Yeah, she was
That's
not.
so funny. So okay, so VT, and I hosted you. I think your primary host
Yeah,
when you came, and so you chose Virginia Tech. So you made me look good. I appreciate
yeah,
that.
sure, for sure.
Glad to be a part of that journey. So take me through. All right. So now you're stepping in. You stepped in as a freshman at Robinson, did what you did, varsity starter, eventually in football and basketball. Take me through your thought process going into Virginia Tech. And what I mean by that was your mindset on I'm going to play initially? Was it I belong here, or I need to earn my keep, or I'm not sure. This is the first time I'm not confident. Take me through what you were thinking of your
I
expectations
think
going
at
in.
this point in time, there was like still there was definitely I had like a level of like, and I didn't tell anybody this, but there
Mm-hmm.
was still a level of like delusional confidence that I that I had. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's no, like I said, I didn't tell anybody that because you have conversations with me at that time, and so I was very don't like talking to myself. I was kind of humble and whatever. So,
Mm-hmm.
but in my head, there was no doubt. I was like, I'm about to go to Tech, and I'm about to eat, right? And I was like, I'm
As
about
a freshman.
as a freshman. I was like, I'm gonna
That's
go there
tough.
as a true freshman. I'm gonna play and I'm gonna eat. And then I remember showing up to the spring game.
Before spring game, so you're still a senior in high school.
I'm still a senior, but I've already committed.
Yep.
Right? Again, just be done. State player of the year, broke every record at the school. Uh,
Yep.
again, in the biggest state, like biggest division, like
Big time.
big time, big like crazy career, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'm about to they have no idea what they got coming. Like I'm about to go up there and do the exact same thing. Um, and I remember showing up to the spring game, and Kevin Jones wasn't playing in the spring game, but he was there, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Jones is the running back, Heisman candidate, and all everything like top recruit. In my head again, I'm like, man, let me see how good this guy is. Yeah, I'm still coming to Virginia Tech despite the fact that we got the top recruit a year before, maybe it was 2 years before. I think Kevin was 2 years older.
He might still be the top recruit they've ever gotten. I
Yeah,
don't know.
he
Well,
was like
maybe
the
this
number one
year.
player in the country. Yeah, I think he was like
Yeah.
one of them. But again, this is like my level of delusional, like how you know what I'm saying, like how delusional I was. But I remember looking at Kevin on the sideline, and he's standing next to me, and I was like, yeah, please. I was like, bro, what is that?
Yeah.
He looked like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I saw him run, and I was like, whoa. Like, he's also the biggest and the fastest person out here. And then Lee
Yes.
Suggs showed up, and Lee had gas too, right? And Lee was a monster. And then it's funny. And I remember being like, well, I might have made a mistake.
Hey, because hey, both of those cats, man, Lee could score. He had, I mean, I think that one year he had like 32 touch. I mean, he had something absurd.
He was crazy. He was both of them absolutely wild. I just remember growing up, I'm like, I might have made a mistake, man. I might have slipped up. But I was like, but you know what? I was like, I'm still a dog though. So we get to like freshman camp that we had, and I was doing my thing, and that's when they were like, all right. And I remember even talking to the coach. I'm like, listen, I can play, but in my head, I'm like, I know I shouldn't be playing over these two guys, like at all. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Both pros, both pro running backs. If you don't know, both were professional running backs, and everybody knew it at the time.
yes,
It
for
was,
sure, right?
yeah.
For sure. And if injuries don't come into play, who knows the kind of career in the league that they would have had, right? Like
Sure.
those two guys easily, in my opinion, could have been 1,500-yard rushers every single year in the NFL,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yes.
but again, I still did have confidence in myself, and I was like, so what they did is they moved me to receiver, and I still
Right.
played true freshman, right? Because they were like, all right, you're, you're talented. We got to get the ball in your hands somehow, some way. So I played it true, and they just moved my position from running back to receiver, uh, and yeah, man, that was it. Now that was a tough adjustment though, for sure.
And that's what I wanted to ask about because for most players getting to college, you've been super successful, whatever you're doing, right? You're that guy or that lady, right? And then for your freshman year, and this happens quite a bit, right? Then you get a coach asking you to make a change. Did you ask to change so you could play, or did someone say, "Hey, if we make this move to receiver, you have a better opportunity to play"? Was it like a
I think it was kind of
back
like
and
a
forth?
mutual thing. It was like I need the ball in my hands. Like, yo, like let's figure out a way to do this because I was, like I said, I was good enough to play. I just wasn't good enough to play over Lee and Kevin.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So it was like a mutual thing. Like, hey, how do we get? And I had hands, right? Like there was a lot of
right,
like I could catch for sure, right?
right.
That's one of my strong suits actually. So as they started to see that, they were like, man, put you in the slot, you do some things here and there, right? I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Okay. There was no resistance. You're like, okay,
Consistent.
what?
I should
No
have,
resistance.
but I didn't.
You think?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so why? Tell me why.
I mean, again, delusional self confidence,
Mm.
right? I played running back, and when I played running back, one of the things is like I was extremely detail oriented,
Hmm.
right? Like I knew this down to the steps of every single lineman what they were supposed to be doing,
Hmm.
right? So I can kind of see how a play's going to develop, et cetera, and be anticipated to be able to do whatever I was going to do, right? But that's running back. Receiver, I thought like, hey, you're just going to call like, hey, go run a hitch and we'll throw you the ball, or a slant, we'll throw you, just get busy, right? You don't realize like there's concepts that go into like pass plays and like emotions and all this other stuff, and it was over my head. Like 100%, it was over my head. So I get in the first game and I end up scoring, on like a Ryan Randall ended up throwing me like a 40-yard bomb and I'm scoring. And again, I'm like, man, this is again delusional confidence. I'm about to eat, right? I was like, I'm about to eat all year long, but never really could pick up the offense at receiver from that
Hmm.
point on, right? Like you could
Hmm.
give me some basic concepts, but I just couldn't pick it up. Like it was just too complicated. When we hit Tony Ball, great coach, but
Yeah.
he too much for me from a technical standpoint because I didn't understand the position of receiver. So
Right.
I ended up playing as a true freshman, but I didn't play the back half of the season. I just
Mm.
couldn't pick it up, right? So that's why I say the reality of it is I should have sat down and redshirted.
Okay.
I should have
Okay.
took a year to get stronger. I should have
Yeah.
team. I should have been trying to give defense the blues every single day. But instead, again, I was so arrogant that in
Mm.
myself, people didn't know it. Like it wasn't outwardly arrogant, but like inner arrogance that I was like, nah, I should play. Like, come on, right? And I ended up not playing like half the time. And this was the time when you could play 4 or 5 games and then still redshirt. It was like, bro,
Right.
the minute your foot touched that field, it was over. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
so I
yeah.
basically lost the season right then and there because I was too arrogant.
To because now you can play 9 games. Can you imagine? Nine, that's all I need you for. Give me to the playoffs. That's all. 9 games.
Exactly. That would have been.
Nice.
I could have played him about 7.
Yeah, you could be all ACC or at Big East with
Yeah,
9 games.
9 games. I still got a
And
whole other year under my belt.
you get
Exactly.
a, you get 1,000 yards in 9 games. Come on now.
Exactly.
Okay, so looking back, you would have been more patient and willing, and because at least at that time, I don't. Now things are changing a little bit, but at that time, I would say 3 out of 4 redshirted, 3 out of 4 freshmen. What would you say? Maybe you had a pretty talented class, where some cats came in and played
Like
early.
80% of the people redshirted.
Yeah,
Mark Spitt, he redshirted. I think the only people that were we had a really talented class. So me,
you
Jimmy
did.
Williams played as a true freshman.
Yep,
Then Lewis was a defensive
yep,
tackle, was an animal. He played as a true freshman. Um, man, that might have been it
yeah.
for real. Like that might have been
Out of
it.
like 18, probably 18 class,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
16 and 19.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's tough. So looking back, you would have sat and learned
yeah.
and
I
grew.
should have
Gotcha. Yeah,
And
that's
again, I do remember them kind of asking me, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, again, like I'll do rookie like preseason stuff. You put me in, like if you put the ball in my hands, I was about to go to work. But
right.
but it was like you can't just run these simple like spot plays and stuff. Like you're gonna have to learn the offense, and
To
I just
learn it.
couldn't grasp it as it was going. So uh, that's a regret of mine.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never heard you say that before.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
a regret of mine.
huh. Okay. And so you played your freshman year. Was there any? So when you were sitting, that's the first time you're not playing, obviously, right? Did you doubt yourself at all? Was there any doubts, like even if it wasn't expressed? Was there any internal during? Because what we have found was what we have found is like with all the people that we speak with, right? Even if they're superstars through little league and in high school, maybe even in college, it might be professional where they hit a place where they kind of have a little bit of self doubt and they work through it. Some people it's in high school, some people it's in college, some people it's at pros. But there's usually some place in your journey where you're like, man, am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right place? Am I good enough to be here? Should I be here? Like, did you have any of those doubts, or were you just like, let's just wait it out next year? Lee's gone. I'm going to move into it and I'll be ready.
No, I don't think I had any doubts. I think
Yeah.
I knew that I receiver was not like in that capacity of the way we were like I just couldn't pick the offense up yet, right?
Yeah.
I still thought in myself, like in my head, again, because I used to practice, and maybe this is also part of the problem. I do half a practice with the running backs, and then I would go do half a practice with the receivers,
Mm,
right? So maybe if I would have spent full time there, but it was like at this point in time, it was like, Doug, go spend full time with the running back, right? So I'm watching Kevin and Lee work out, and in my head, I'm like, Lee's leaving this year because he's a senior,
yep.
and Kevin's gonna come back next year, and it's gonna be his show, right?
Yep.
And then he's gonna be gone, and it's gonna be mine.
Yeah.
It was kind of like my thought process at the time,
Yeah.
right?
You're within 2 years.
Yeah, and I was like, and Kevin can't play all the time anyway, so when he comes out, I'll spell him. So, and I was
Right.
learning a lot. Like I'm watching Kevin work, right? So, yeah, I was learning a lot of the time, but still no doubt really in my head at all, at
Mm,
that point in time. So, you know, Kevin ended up kind of played out that way. Kevin ended up leaving. Lee went the year before that. And then the following year, I kind of stepped into a starting position. And
yeah.
I think I stepped in the starting position like 3, 4 games because the backs ahead of me like weren't doing their thing. But in my head, I remember even that game was NC State.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm about to work out. Like I finally, like I'm about to get busy again. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And
sir.
uh, it's exactly what we did. We ended up
Yes.
back in getting busy. So not yet. I hadn't lost any confidence yet.
And no confidence there.
Still
And
delusional.
so delusional. I like that delusional confidence. Um, and sometimes you have to have that if you want to create or manifest something that's not there yet.
Yeah.
If you ain't on board with yourself, it's hard. Hopefully you have a mentor speaking into you, or a coach, or a parent, or older sibling. But you got to believe.
So,
You got to believe. And so, okay, take me through what was a moment in a game where you're like, like, I'm doing my thing. I'm
man,
doing.
I would say so. I ended up breaking the single game rushing record, and it was Kevin's record.
Yep.
Jones had the record,
Yep.
and then I come back again. I kind of come in and I step in, and I'm now the running back that's there, and I break Kevin's record versus UNC.
Yes.
I remember that game. I even told nobody this, for like not that many people, but like I didn't play well. I haven't watched that film,
Mm,
right? Like 247 yards or something on like
yeah.
20 something. I haven't watched the film. Like, and when we watched the film, and like I remember like kind of watching it like side eye because I was like, bro, you left about at least about 80 on the field. I should have had 300, right? And I knew it. And I didn't want. Serious. I was sick. I was sick. But at that point in time, I remember the next week, or maybe the next week, we had Maryland at home,
Hmm.
and I was like, yeah, it's on.
Is this 2004?
I
Which
think
year is this?
that. I
Is
think
this my last? Is this ACC
yeah,
year? It
yeah.
probably had to be. If
Yeah.
we were playing Maryland, probably had to be because
Maryland at home. Yeah, yeah.
ACC.
So at that game, I'm like, and I'm feeling good. And I remember I had like 2 touchdowns in like 5 minutes
Hmm.
of first quarter, right? Like going absolutely crazy. And I remember being like, yeah, this is exactly what I thought it was going to be like always, right? Like,
Yeah.
and and then I pulled my hamstring.
Ooh, that
Uh,
game
That game.
where we lost by a field goal that
Oh, we
game.
won that game.
Oh, we won it.
That
Okay,
game we won. We was
okay,
yeah, we was beating them down.
you
Uh,
pulled it. First injury, first major injury.
that was like the first one that was like, yeah, that was the first like major one. I remember like feeling that, and it was on a touchdown. I pulled it on a touchdown run. Right, I like made a move, like sat somebody down and kind of shook them, and then just burst it out. Right, and dude did not touch me at all, and
Mm.
jumped in the end zone. And I remember my hamstring going like, what was
On the
that?
celebration.
Not on, like as I was diving into the end zone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
didn't have to dive, but I did it because I was feeling it. But yeah, and I remember pulling my hamstring. Um, and being like, God, because I swear to God, I kid you not, I was about to re-break the record that I just broke
Yeah.
for that game, right? The running back behind me came in and went for like a buck 50, but I was like, at this rate, I was like, I was about to go crazy again.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Oh man, I would say probably like I'd say I probably started to think like it's on from the minute I went into that game at NC State. I remember checking into the game at NC State and was like, I'm not coming off this field again. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then we played West Virginia as well. And I think I went off on West Virginia and they were like number 3 in the country at the time. They had
Mm,
a couple of other studs that they had. And I remember going off on them and being like, yeah, it's this is exactly what I had envisioned. Um, this is awesome.
and so you had that hamstring injury. Did you have any other major injuries at Tech?
And it was just like, yeah, high ankle sprain after high ankle sprain after high ankle sprain. So, I got some like big regrets in that regard because again, like that delusional self confidence that I had was also my biggest detriment. Right? Like
In what regard?
I just thought I was like a superhero and it didn't matter, and I never would sit to rest and heal. Like you may or may not remember, but there was I think it was senior year, but I started to get like some high ankle sprains, some pretty
Hmm.
um, bad.
Which are those are 4 to 6 weeks
Yes.
injuries.
So instead of doing, resting, I'm like, I don't have time to rest. Like I'm not resting. Like I just got my shot. Like
Right.
KJ and D just
Right.
left. Like I just broke this record. I was like, man. So that's when like I had a high ankle sprain. Like you said, you'd rather break your leg than have a high ankle sprain, right? Because you can
Mm,
if the bone will heal and you're good. Like ankle sprain, the ligaments in there, like that's a different kind of injury. And
yeah.
I would play in the game. My ankle would look like this.
Yeah.
I would get in the boot, leave the stadium in the boot, stay in the boot from Sunday to Wednesday, take the boot off on Thursday, jog, get it shot up on Saturday, and then play in the game on Saturday, rinse and repeat, right?
Yeah.
And what I should have done is I needed to sit down, to be honest.
Just the rest.
I needed some rest. I just needed yeah, and I didn't again, I was just a little bit delusional. So it was just like, man, like I don't need rest. Why do I need rest? You never needed rest in your life. Like your body's never broke. You're not the biggest dude. You're small actually, but you're strong, right? You're one of the strongest guys on the team. You're one of the fastest. You're good. And it ended up like I just stayed like injured a lot after that
Yeah.
one time because I'd never let anything heal. So I would just get
Deal.
re-injured, re-injured, re-injured. So
I understand that, man. I have conversations with family and friends about rest, looking back, and it's just like it stings. It's hard for athletes in the moment because you kind of feel direct or indirect pressure to get on the field and play at whatever level. It could
and
be club.
up, yeah, for sure, right? Like, and I needed someone at the time to tell me, no, you need to sit down.
Yeah, no doubt.
Same way I needed someone probably to say, you should redshirt.
Right, right. And that's the value of mentorship.
Couldn't tell me anything though.
Yeah.
The
No
thing,
doubt.
And
Is
again,
it?
like nobody knew that you couldn't tell me anything, but I knew you couldn't.
So
And
if somebody would have said something, it wouldn't have mattered.
I would have been like, yeah, think about that. I appreciate your whatever. And I'd be like, man, this you must be crazy.
Yeah, I'm getting
Like,
back on the pill. That's huge, man. To take a to take a step back because it is a ripple effect in your body if you don't heal. It will lead to the next thing or a repeat injury. And it's just like sometimes your body's screaming that you got to heal. But again, there's this weird thing in sports where you have direct or indirect pressure to get back in there. You don't want to lose your spot. You don't want to lose momentum. You don't like, you want to go to the league. For us in football, like everybody, we're all going to the league at some capacity, you know? So that's tough. So after that, you had more injuries. Well, take me through. All right, you continue to play through Tech. You get back from that injury. You continue to play. You obviously had a phenomenal career, team career, and individual career. Take me through. I know you ended up in Canada. Take me through going up there, what you got out of that experience, and then take me through the end of your career. You making a decision on, hey, it's time. So
yeah. So I ended up not being able to play in senior night. And like at the end of the season of my Virginia Tech career, like I didn't play
you
because
didn't play on senior night.
I didn't dress out. I was in a booth. Right. It had gotten so bad that it was like I remember our head trainer looking at me like, you can't keep doing this. Like you need to take some time off. So, like you need a rest. So I ended up having surgery with my
I didn't
ankle.
realize.
Yeah,
Okay,
I had
still
ankle
at school.
still at school. This is before like combine and all that stuff, right? I'm like, cool, we're gonna have a scope. I'm gonna do my ankle and I had to do my knee at the same time. And you know, um, I thought I was gonna get delusional, right? So I thought I'd heal in like 3 weeks. I was not healing. I knew it. I was like, this is not right. I'm not feeling like the way I need to. And I remember getting a shot up in Washington through like rookie mini camp, right? And I just remember like not even being able to like turn the corner. Like
Mm.
I just wasn't myself. Like I knew 100%. I was because again, in my head I was about to go do my thing, but then like my body, I was like, this ain't right. Like this is not who you are. So I ended up, getting let go there and um, taking a year off to heal, right, and like rest and train, work out, and then I remember just being like super frustrated because I was like, man, like I was nobody calling, like nobody's like, come on, man, like I was doing my thing, but again, I didn't do my thing for that long because I was injured. I had KJ and Lee's, but I did do my thing, but like it was sparingly because I was hurt.
Right.
So yeah, so I remember like talking to my agent, and he's like, yeah, man, let me get your shot up in Canada, right? And I was like, all right, cool, let's do that, right? So I flew up to Montreal um, for, you know, a workout, camp, tryout, whatever it was. And again, now I'm healthy, all right? And
Mhm.
I'm back on my delusion, right? Right? I'm like, they in trouble, right? Like they are in trouble, right? Like they have no idea like what they got up here. And it was funny because I remember them not having a room for me at camp because my agent, I don't know what he did. I don't know if he like lied to me or like how he set it up, but like they didn't have a room and they were like kind of like surprised that I was there. Almost like they forgot, right? Like I was just like an extra body, right? Um, like I remember checking in and they were like, yeah, don't worry about it. No, 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 we'll get you a room. It's all good. And I'm like, yeah, fools don't even know I'm supposed to be here. You know? So camp starts and um I tore them apart. I was healthy again. Like that was like the healthiest I had I was fast, I was strong, I was back. And I was actually at this point in time conceptually understood the game and I was like, I can actually now actually play both positions. So I was
Right.
actually playing running back and receiver at the exact same time. And
Mm.
right. So um they end up playing me as a rookie. And then again, like all these guys get cut. And I remember just being like, yeah, the guy, y'all didn't even have room for me at at like camp. Like I had to like they had to throw an extra mattress in one of like the dorm rooms for me, basically. But I was like, this is the last man standing now, right? In my head, I'm like, yeah. Uh, so Canada was awesome, man. And then, right away, I'm eating again, like immediately, like automatically get this dude in the game plan. Kind of feels a lot like freshman year again. You know what I mean? Like, but again, now I understand the game a little bit more. And I
Yes.
said, I'm like, I'm about to be back down in the league in like a year. That's in my thought. I was like, now they
Right.
found out Dante Hall is going crazy as a kickoff, punt and turn man. I was like, at a bare
Crazy.
minimum, 100% they're bringing me back to do that. And I was playing receiver and I made a little move, caught a pass, went to like go get down. And it's about halfway through the season, or maybe early in the season. And I remember a dude's kind of like a lineman tackling me from the back, and my collarbone dislocated off my sternum.
Yeah, I remember that injury
Yeah,
for you.
usually it breaks. It's a normal thing to break it, but it's connected back here at your sternum and it's connected at your shoulder. So not only did it like rip off, but then it went inside. So it was like boom, right? And obviously all your major everything is right here. And I remember coming off the field and I was like, I broke my collarbone, right? And they took me to the back room, and I'm hot too, because again, I'm having myself a day, right?
Right.
I'm like, man, I'm like, it's happening again, like that same Maryland, NC State feeling, like I knew what time it was, and then we went back. They were like immediately they saw my neck start to swell up, and I was like, I don't know why I can't breathe. I'm like struggling to breathe a little bit now. Like,
Ooh.
we need to take me to the hospital. So they took me to the hospital, and that's when they realized I had dislocated it, and they were like, we really don't like operating. They don't like operating in that area because, as you can imagine, everything is kind of right there. So um, they reset it back in place, and we're like,
Oh,
we're gonna sit you out for like, I don't remember, like 9 weeks, 10 weeks, right, for a large part of the season, and we're hoping that the scar tissue forms, and then we'll have you back for playoffs. I'm delusional, right? So I'm like, cool. Uh, we go 10 weeks. Gosh, I'm so stupid. I remember sitting in the house and like moving around and it would like click and pop and like move,
yeah.
right? Like it would move. But I was like, it doesn't matter, I gotta play. I was like, my 10 weeks is up and I'm up. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, this is my time. I'm about to eat again. And first carry, boom, get tackled, boom, it pops back in and boom, just and I feel it again.
Oh no.
I remember laying on the ground and the ball was rolling out, my arm was flopping on the ground. And I was like, in so much pain. I was like, I just did it again. But this time I'm like, I hope I don't die. Because like I'm like, did it pop in far enough to like pierce,
Right. Oh my
right?
goodness.
So this time they drill a hole in my sternum, drill a hole in the collarbone, like reconnected with like ankle cadaver. And um, I ended up being done for the season. And that's when I came back and rehab, come back the next year and new coach and right back on my delusionalness. I had a decent year that year, but like I started to feel differently. You know what I mean? Like, do you have it still? You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, like it would come back, but I was like, I don't know, man. Like it was just always something with like injuries. Like when they say people are injury prone, like people don't. It's one thing, and you know this. Like I worked extremely hard in the gym, maybe too hard, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
weight room, working out, etc. I don't know, but I was injury prone. And
Yeah.
being injury prone is not something like you can control. I always thought like people were soft for being
Right.
injured, but I'm like, there's nothing you can do about it. It hurt.
Yeah.
Not a decision
No
you
doubt.
not prepared. You just it's the way the coin goes, you know.
No doubt.
So yeah, so I remember uh so I was with them for maybe like 3 years, 3.5 years or so. And then I got released. I got released there and I was just like, man, wow. Like, here I am, like still with that same delusional self confidence about myself. But I'm like, I got nothing to show for it. I mean, I have stories, right? But I don't have
Sure.
finances to show for it, what I thought was going to happen.
No
Right.
doubt.
Yeah, I'm like, I thought this was going to look much different. We're driving,
No doubt.
we're driving a different car right now.
No doubt.
Right.
No doubt.
Driving the white Maxima,
No
right?
doubt. Yes.
So, yeah, man. So then, next thing you know, I just was like, all right, we gotta call it quits.
And so when you made that decision, were you counseling with your family? Was it just just personal, internal? I know your spiritual beliefs. Like, was it just like, I'm done?
I mean, first of all, nobody wanted me. You know what I'm saying? So like, that was something I had to get over for the first time. I'm like, man, I never had this feeling before. Like, I
Right.
already went up there and proved myself. Like, they didn't even have a room for me in camp, and like,
Right.
but I didn't have enough time because I got hurt so early to showcase what I could do. So like, the coaches knew, but like, the party rolls on. You need a
Yeah,
younger
it does.
guy. So, nah, man, I wasn't really counseling with anybody. It probably in the hardest times of my life. I was depressed for sure.
Yeah.
Like
It's
there was a form of like depression that I was dealing with, and like I was still working out, still slightly delusional. I was back healthy again, but I was like, maybe at 26, 27, somebody's gonna give me a shot. But it's like, really, dude, you're 27, running back, you're washed. Like, it's a wrap. Like, you know. So that was tough.
that's tough, man. That's tough, especially when your
Feels,
body's failing on you
yeah,
a little bit. You
yeah,
know,
for
it's
sure.
like,
I
and
know.
so okay, you made a decision. You made a decision to stop playing. Obviously, for every athlete, pretty much every athlete, that's um, it's a weird time, because all your confidence you have in yourself, you've had in your sport, you need to use the same thing but apply it in a different manner in your life, right? The next chapter. And so I know you went into entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
right? I think immediately, right?
I
Why'd
was,
you pick? Was that immediate? That was immediate,
I was
right?
doing this simultaneously, right? I owned a little
Okay.
small cafe.
Oh,
Uh,
you're still playing when you had. Okay. I think I
I was
recall
still
that
like
too.
training in between, like the last year I was playing. I owned the cafe, but that was
Okay.
kind of like dipping my toes in like entrepreneurship. And
Why did you think that was? I think this is good though, because you were still even playing, right? So you could easily been in Canada. You easily get called up to the NFL. Why were you doing something else on the side?
I mean, I knew I was gonna have to do something.
Eventually,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
writing was also on the wall. Like, you're gonna have to do something, right?
yeah,
So opportunity presented myself. And to be honest with you, like, you probably at that point in time in my life, again, kind of delusional. It didn't matter. I thought I could do anything. So like, it didn't really matter what it was.
right,
So that opportunity presented itself, and I was like, cool, let's do it. It's good because I can learn a lot, and I'll be training at the same time, right? Because it was inside
right.
like a gym. You had a captive audience, so people would grab their drinks, shakes, whatever, and I was
Yep.
business inside of there as well. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, I mean, I think that was, I don't know why I was necessarily, but why I thought I'd be able to do that. But
Yeah.
it did work out. I did learn. I learned a lot at the time, but I knew I still needed more.
No doubt. No doubt. And I remember this time period in your life, because I was in Northern Virginia too. You were close. I remember going up there to the gym. And
Yeah,
so I know looking back, I don't think I ever said this, but I was just so impressed because I don't recall us knowing any other entrepreneurs at the time
yeah,
of our peer group, right? Our peer group is all, I think they're all super successful now. The ones that we keep in contact with, and not just successful monetary wise, successful as far as pursuing what they want to pursue, right? And accomplishing what they want. But I don't recall anybody being an entrepreneur. I always look at you're my brother. I can see you like a brother or a little brother or whatever. And I used to think I was like, man, this guy came out of the league playing. My man is an entrepreneur, is doing his thing, not taking direction from anybody. And I was just so impressed and still am impressed that was like one of your first steps
I
even
don't
while
know,
you're still
man. And
playing?
it might have been a first step because like my ego was too big though, and I really didn't. I thought I needed to work for myself.
As opposed, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like there might have been some element of that, right? Like you can't tell me anything, right? So it's ironic, right? It's like the gift and the curse at the same time.
r- right, right. That makes sense. That makes sense. And so you had that, and then you moved into a different career, which is what you're doing now. So take me through the thought process of what you're doing now, why you made the move, and what you're excited about. And yeah, tell me why, what you're doing, why you're doing, and what you're excited about now
Yeah.
at this phase in your life.
Yeah. So I mean, right now I'm a partner at Edward Jones, well-known financial institution. Obviously, you know, like $1 trillion or maybe $2 or $3 trillion. I don't know the exact number of what it is, but we have a pretty large book of business as well. Um, yeah, I kind of was like, all right, it's time to do something else, right? Like I've tasted a little bit of business. Football's over. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
and I met my wife, and I was like, it's time to put your head down and like figure something out. Like, what exactly is it you want to do now? So I had the entrepreneurial spirit, right? I had that. Um, I had some work ethic, and I always understood like finances and money. Like, don't ask me how. I shouldn't say that. We obviously have to classes in college and stuff, but again, the classes in college, I was taking classes as a means to just keep eligible. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But
Oh yeah.
something was like sticking in the back of my head on a couple of those classes, right? A couple of things did make sense. And then, you know, my family went through some financial like hardships because we didn't understand the way money really worked. So
Sure.
I was very curious to know about it. And again, I thought I was going to make $1 million or a couple $1 million. So I was like, I was learning like, what are you supposed to do with your money, right? You're supposed to invest, you're supposed to save it. How much? Like, how do we not be in the same situation, or stay in the same situation? Like, how do we advance ourselves, right? I just never
No
had
doubt.
the money to be able to do it through from football, but
On football.
yeah, not from football exactly. So I remember talking to my brother, um, and he was like, "Yeah, he's like, you know, you should apply it every jump." Right? And I was like, yeah, all right, cool. Right. So um I applied to Emory Jones, and I remember never being so scared in my life. Like I can't even think of anything that was like that I was more scared of ever, because here I am walking into another arena, and I've never done it before. It's new.
Mhm.
People talk different. They look different than me, right? We don't have the same background as a lot of these folks. So I was like extremely, extremely fearful. Um, and I think I fed on that fear though. So it's amazing. Like fear is a great motivator, right?
Yeah. Yes,
Maybe
it
not
is.
healthy for you, but it is a great motivator, right? And you'd be
It
shocked
is.
what people could do. And I was like when they're scared. And like, you ever see someone run away from a dog? I'm like, bro, you know how fast you were?
Fast.
Right? I'm
Yeah.
oh
Different
my,
motivation.
yes, exactly, right? So like, I was absolutely like petrified. I remember crying one night, just being like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I wasn't scared of the job. I was scared of not being successful because I've always been successful. I've always been
Yeah.
good, right? I've always been like, it's a wrap. Like I got it,
Right.
right? And I didn't have that feeling. This is all new. I'm walking into a different arena, and I got to get people to trust me and talk to me and give me any time of day. And I remember just taking the same approach to working out and everything else. And I was like, hard work is undefeated,
Yeah.
right? I was like, hard work's undefeated, dude. I was like, do not be the sucker who can't figure it out. You know, in my head, that's what I'm telling myself. Don't be the dude who can't figure it out afterward.
Mm.
People are like, oh, Mike Imoh, you're like, you were doing so and so.
When you say figure it out, clarify what that means to you. I
Hmm.
think I understand what you're saying, but
Um, you know, can't find their path. right?
Hmm.
Can't find like, and again, this might have just been all manufactured inside of my own head. It probably was, right?
Yep.
It was all manufactured. Like, can you do it? Can you be successful? Can you stay at one spot? Can you build a career? Can you build a business? And I don't know. People probably weren't even thinking that. They weren't thinking like, Mike's not going to be able to do this. But in my head, I was thinking, I know everybody thinks I can't do this.
Mm.
So I got to do this.
You got to do it. Yep.
I got to do it. I got to make it work. I got to make it big. Right? Like I have to do it. So my fear of not being successful was the greatest motivator for me afterwards. So, you know, I remember just being out and I would go out and I was trying to build my clientele book for business and I was talking to everybody. I walked around, I knocked on people's doors, right? Um, for like years, knocking on people's doors. People were like, "You're Mike Imoh, like you played," and I'm like, "Wish they didn't know that." They're like, "Why are you
No,
knocking on the door, dude?" You know what I'm saying? And some of those people are some of my biggest clients now. But I just had to put forth the same thing. I was like, hard work is undefeated. Like, put your head down, grind, bro. Like, this is important. So you
no.
do this.
And so was that the first time you've ever, I mean, obviously injuries, getting back, getting healthy, questioning your body a little bit. But outside of that environment, that situation, is this the first time you've ever doubted yourself or had doubts?
Yes,
Yeah, that's wild.
it was new.
Yeah, no doubt.
It was new. I was petrified. I was petrified, like
Yeah.
petrified. But I didn't know this at the time. But what I knew that from football, if you can learn a playbook at multiple positions, like if
Yeah.
anybody ever like go into a huddle and listen to a play, like you
Oh
think the
man.
engineer is like X, Y, Z, X motion, X ray laser, you know what I mean? Archie ball sucker, right? On right.
Right.
Just a bunch of like crazy words and they all mean all these different things. And it would be like ping, 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 ping. And you got to do it right there on the spot, right? So
Yes,
like,
you do.
um, yeah, man, it was crazy. That was wild. Um, but yeah,
And I want to point that out because there's going to be athletes listening to this that are in the process of transitioning out of sports, maybe have already transitioned out of sports, and you might be moving into new arenas, man. And you might have some fear or nervousness, or for the first time, have some self doubt. And I just want you to know that that is normal, right? You're moving into different things, but the confidence in the things that you've done in sports to make you successful, which is work, right? That's a similar line. I love doing these podcasts because the similar thread through all these things people are putting in work, right? None of this stuff, you get to be just a great athlete up to a certain point, but then you got to work. You got to work to be good enough. You got to work to get back from injuries. You got to work. You got to work. You got to work in school. You got to do all these different things. And so the common thread is the work ethic, right? And so that's transferable, right? It's just like saying like defense travels, right? No matter what, if you had a good defense, that team's probably going to be a good. Well, if your work travels from one thing to the next, you're going to be okay,
yep.
right? You got to figure out what you want to invest your time and spend your
But
time
hard work
doing.
is
It's undefeated. Consistency is going to
undefeated.
pay off.
It's
It's going to
undefeated.
pay off, right?
It always will.
And so I love you being vulnerable and sharing that because there's people that are going to be watching this. Just like, man, they're right in that valley. And you have multiple valleys in your life. It ain't just when you stop playing sports. It might be any different point. I wish the best for everybody listening to this, but there's different valley points, right? And coming out of getting out of sports is one of them, right?
Yeah.
Where you got to build yourself back up and use the same thing that you've learned for 20 years or whatever years of your life, and now you put it in it's a new game.
Yeah. I'd say that's exactly right. The hard work is undefeated and you will be scared. Use your fear,
Yeah.
right? Like use your fear um, because it's a great motivator. Don't shell
Wow.
up. Run towards your fears, actually.
No,
I
no
go as
doubt.
far as saying that because if you can conquer the man in the mirror,
Yes.
conquer anything. And that's like not even just like a cool slogan. Like I say that like no cap, like conquer yourself, conquer your fears, run. Don't walk away from your fears, like run toward them,
Yeah.
right?
I love that, man.
Like absolutely dead sprint and you will be successful, right? And then just put your head down and grind, right? I don't think there's anything I know that like any I sit there and I think about all the time, I'm like, is there anything that like you can work at and don't get better? Nope,
Yeah, no.
nothing.
No, no,
I
no.
feel like it's undefeated.
It's undefeated.
So it's just
Yeah.
like, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to go through? Right. So I urge most folks, I'm like, man,
No doubt.
go big, go there early, and like put your head down, do the exact same things that you did to become like when you were in the locker room, and take that
Yeah.
like y'all's company like straight that right to the boardroom. It's the exact same thing.
Exact same thing. Exact same thing.
Exact same
I
thing.
w- and I wa- so I want to share in wrapping up. I want to share quick story, not even a whole story, just an observation. I remember when Mike took the job with Edward Jones, and it's not he's an entrepreneur, right? Um, and I remember, and we talk about this. I remember going to his house. I remember him studying. I remember him grinding. I remember and I'll tell this story forever. I'll tell this story to your kids at some point, I'm sure. When they need a work ethic story, you just let Uncle Mike know, and I can tell them about what I saw personally. But I remember, and we've trained together. Training sports build when you train with people, it builds a bond because you suffer together.
Right.
So you see people at their best, you see people at the worst. You see me definitely at some of my worst. It's right. That's a different podcast. Don't
That's
go
for
into that.
another day.
That's another day. We'll have a VT podcast at
Yeah.
some point. But I remember going to your house, man, and you had a stack index cards, man. And obviously, index cards are so thin, and they were I mean,
It was from the floor.
dude, it was so
From
high.
the
I
floor
could not
to
believe it.
like up here. It was probably at least that was a 3 foot. That was at least a 3 to 4 foot stack of cards, and there was multiple stacks.
Bro, it was more intimidating than playing Miami.
I hear you.
That's a
I hear
that's
you.
Miami's like we train. I've trained my whole life for this. Let's go. And I came in and I saw you and I saw the dedication. I want to get to the point on this. I saw you applying everything that you talked about with sports to a different venture in your life, man. And it was one of the most impressive things that I've seen, right? Because to that point, I hadn't really seen. I had my own personal experience. I wanted to get into pharmaceutical sales, and so that was one of my first big corporate jobs out of sports. And for that, it takes a decent level of education and
Right.
passing tests and stuff. And so I had to dig in for that, and I felt the same way. I was scared. I was nervous. I was like, "Well, what if I fail? I haven't really. What are people going to?" And I went through it. And so when I saw you studying, man, I seen you go through that process of really putting yourself out there and locking in, man. You locked in. My man had stubble all over his. I mean, I was nervous. I was scared for my man. I was scared for my brother, but I was just so impressed, man, with the dedication. And now we look back. It's been 11 years, probably 12 years. How many years have you been an average? Say that again.
12 or 13 years.
12 or 13 years. Because I remember I was there and I know the fruit that has brought you and your family and your future family. I know what you've been able to being vulnerable and taking a risk and applying it something outside of sports and how that's going to have a ripple effect in your family. And you and your brothers have changed your lineage, like financially for sure, but it's not just about finances. And so I want to say I'm proud of you. It's
Appreciate it.
you're a testimony that I think about constantly. We talk about it every couple months, but and for every athlete that's on here, I know when you're finished playing, you have those doubts about what you're capable of doing outside of your sport. And just know that if you apply the same things as have made you successful in your sport, outside your sport, you're good, man. You're good. You will be good. It might take some time, but it will work out for you. Just apply the same thing and know that you're worthy, you're capable, and you've already put in the work in a different area to be successful. Just apply it. apply it straight over. And so with that, I want to leave with one last question. I'm taking you a little bit over your time. One last question. If you were to go back and give yourself advice, either you pick high school or advice to Mike Imoh in college, what would you say? What would you tell yourself? You can pick, tell me high school, tell me college, tell me what you would say.
And that's tough, man. Um, because there's a part of me that's like, man, be exactly who you are.
Yeah.
Like, believe in yourself, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, I also know that that's also what's gotten me in trouble before,
Sure.
right? Um, I probably just tell myself that life is like life is about balance.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you could figure out, um, the universe is not set up to give you everything you want. It's just not the way it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't work like that, right? I mean, um, and I think in knowing that and having that like in the back of my head, it would have been able to give me a little bit more peace as I like progressed
mm,
through the different like peaks and valleys. You know what I mean?
yeah.
To be like when I was getting like when it was at its high point, knowing, hey, bro, like you're not invincible. Like something bad can happen. Like you can get injured, right? Because those
Mhm.
injuries spiraled and took me into a place that was so dark. But had I known, like, bro, like it doesn't, it's not work. Life does not work in a straight line. It just doesn't. Like there's zigzags and all around. So to be able to roll with that. Now I was able to come out the other side of it, but it was still very, very painful emotionally, right? Emotionally very painful. So had I known that, like, dude, it's okay, just keep grinding, keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna be okay no matter what, right? Because like it's already instilled in you. So um I think I mean that's probably what I would say, man. Like I always say you've heard me maybe you've heard me say that, but life is not set up to give you everything. Right. Everything is an 80-20 rule. Your relationships are 80-20. Your life is 80-20. Like it's just you don't get it all. So decide like where you want to put your energy, go put your energy there. And then just realize like you'll have your down days and you'll have the days that things don't go work out to your advantage. But that's okay. That's all a part of the journey.
No doubt.
Saying so that's probably what I would say.
That's good, man. I love that, man. That's so helpful. And that goes along a theme of others that have been on this podcast, man.
Yeah.
Because some, and I said this last week, and it's from a podcast we had a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about putting one foot in front of the other, and sometimes that's life. you know, you can't look a marathon down the road. You got to
Yeah.
look at your next step.
Next step. Plan
The
out the
next
travel and then take the next step.
next step. No doubt, man. That's good, man, and that's going to be helpful, man. That's helpful. That's going to be helpful for people here in the near future. And in the what's cool about what we're doing is you don't know who will see this and when they will see it. It could be 10 years from now. It could be one of your kids
Yeah.
that on YouTube that's so important in high school or in college. And so you don't know. But I want to say thank you, Mike, for jumping in here. I mean, Mike is, again, uh, a super successful individual, man. And he's had accolades throughout his whole life, man. And people see the highlights, but people don't know the valleys and the challenges and the work ethic and the getting your mind right and working through things. And so this podcast is great because it gives a little bit of insight. It gives you about 0.5% of the thought process behind the success.
Yep.
And right, it's a little bit of insight. And so there'll be times where we dive deeper into different subjects. But I want to thank you, man. I'm so glad that you picked to go to Virginia Tech, man. I'm glad that you were a teammate of mine, helped us win a championship, which you never forget championships. You know that I'll hold on to. UVA still looking for a championship. So if you're
That's
in
It
football,
used to be
so
the annual freebie.
so they're still searching for that. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for being a
Sure.
great friend and jumping on this podcast, man. So I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate you, man. Y'all keep it
All right.
up.
No doubt, man. Thank you.